Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday on Gaming with ADHD. Today we are taking another look at some Battletech miniatures, this time the Clan Support Star for Battletech from Catalyst Game Labs. Now, if you have watched any of my previous videos, you're probably getting tired of me saying that I am a big fan of the Technical Readout series. Now, for those of you that are new, I absolutely love the Technical Readout series because of the way that it's presented. It's presented as sort of a futuristic military hardware guide, sort of like a Jane's Guide of the future, for all of the big robots that we know from Battletech. Now, you're going to get an artist rendition of your mech, you're going to get stats, you're going to get background on the individual or notable pilots, possible information about different variants for the mech. So it was they're a lot of fun to just read and just browse, especially if you're bored or, just want something fun to occupy your time while you're waiting somewhere. It's lots of little short snippets. It includes rules for the mechs, but also just a lot of fluff and flavor. And part of the reason that I like this is because even though we have and we're even looking at these miniatures for Battletech, miniatures are not technically required to play the game. And I remember as a kid, there were times that I actually used dice to represent my mechs, things, just random objects. And so to have the art, you at least had that picture in your head of that giant metal behemoth that you were piloting in battle. Now, that isn't to say that miniatures haven't always been a part of the game. They've been included from pretty much the very beginning. The original version of the game was called Battle Droids, and they actually packaged it with small metal model kits from Japan. And so miniatures have always been a part. And as they've moved into later editions where they only included cardboard standees for the mechs, they would then offer metal miniatures for sale. Now, some of these required assembly. They absolutely required paint if you wanted more than just, the metal looking color to them. And so, when, more recently, Catalyst Game Labs have been looking for ways to increase the amount of battle mechs that they have to offer that are plastic, that come pre-assembled. And so a couple of years ago, they did a Kickstarter for Battletech Clan Invasion, looking to expand on the plastic miniatures. Now, they'd already done some in the Game of Armored Combat and the beginner box set, but those were all what we call inner sphere mechs. And so they wanted to add in some of the clan mechs. And so today we are going to look at some of the mechs that came from what's known as, or from a later part of the Clan Invasion. The original technical readout for Clan Invasion was 3050. These mechs are actually going to come from 3055 and 3058. They are mostly heavies with a couple of light mechs, and you're probably wondering why I'm even doing an unboxing and a review of these miniatures. Well, I realize that there's a window here, you can see the miniatures through it, but it does just give you the front view. And so I've actually set it up. I'm going to do a 360 view of the miniatures. It's a little turntable. But at the same time, I'm also going to take a look at some of that art that I was talking about. The art that was used to introduce the mechs to the world. And, even some of the art as the mech has evolved and changed over the years. So some have a bit more limited art. Some have more. But we're just going to take a look at it and just have some fun while we look at the miniatures and look at the art that inspired it. So, before we do get started, please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. While I'm doing these unboxings, because I do have access to all of the individual sets, while I'm doing these unboxings, I am going to be posting on Monday and Thursday, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that way you can see when new content comes out. And, also make sure that you like the video if you like what I'm doing here, and then just comment down below. What do you think of the mechs that were presented? Did you like the art better? Did you like the miniature better? The older art versus the newer art. Let's just talk about Battletech and have some fun. So, with that said, let us open up the box. So this is what we get here. We get, a nice view of the 5 mechs available. All right, so we have a Night Gear, which comes in at 75 tons from Tech Readout 3058. The Linebacker, a 65-ton mech from 3055. The Black Lantern, from 3058 at 55 tons. The Battle Cobra in the upper right at 20 tons from Tech Readout 3055. And then the Arctic Cheetah at 30 tons from Tech Readout 3058. Now, if you haven't seen one of these before, one thing that they do also include in each of the boxes is a set of cards. Now, there are technically 2 cards for each mech, and they are double-sided. So we have, in this case, this is for the Night Gear. We get the pilot with the gunnery and piloting values and a special ability that you can use when playing the game, just to kind of change things up so it's not very plain. But then you also are going to get some background on the particular pilot. So that's a Smoke Jaguar and a Jade Falcon Night Gear, Smoke Jaguar Arctic Cheetah, and Ghost Bear for the alternate side, Clan Wolf for the Linebacker, and Jade Falcon Linebacker, Steel Viper for the Battle Cobra, which obviously makes sense, and Diamond Shark for the Battle Cobra, and then Jade Falcon for the Black Lantern, and a Steel Viper Black Lantern. Now, the other cards, the second card for each mech is for Alpha Strike. And if you aren't familiar with Alpha Strike, it is sort of a, we'll call it a rules light version of the game. It plays more like a miniatures game as opposed to Battletech, which plays more like a board game and is very granular. This has everything simplified down to just a simple damage value, critical hits, and armor and structure. So it just keeps everything kind of simple. But we have one for the Night Gear, the Linebacker, the Black Lantern, the Battle Cobra, and the Arctic Cheetah or Hankyu. All right. So that is just a quick unboxing. So let's get in and look at some of the details. So we're going to start with the Night Gear, which we have here. Now, this made its first appearance in Tech Readout 3058. So this would have been the 3rd technical readout post-Clan Invasion. Technical readouts, if you have ever played 40K, most similar would be to like a codex, although they are not faction specific. So you have mechs from all sorts of factions, although technically there is no restriction on any faction being able to use them. So this is the Night Gear. This is the one piece of art that I have for it. I don't have an upgraded piece of art from the Ill Clan recognition guides, but overall I think they did a decent job. I like the upgrade in the design. The older art from 3058 would have been from the mid-90s, so I think they are updating it very well. They still pick up some of the detail here on the end of the barrel of this weapon. You can see a little bit of those striations, on the end of it. But it's nice, big, bulky. It looks like it is a heavy mech about to cross into that assault class range. I don't know. Don't have a ton to say, but it's an interesting design. It's one I don't remember from the past, so it looks a little simple, but I like it. So, all right, the next one is the Linebacker. Now, this originally made its appearance in 3055, so this would have been the first book after the initial clan invasion, so post Battle of Tukid, or that's at least how I say it. You might say it differently. And I remember this original piece of art and definitely not being the biggest of fans. It's not bad, but it's very blocky. Just doesn't have that sleek, kind of imposing look that I normally associate with battle mechs. Now this was from the 3055 upgrade, so a more recent version of that same technical readout. I do think they're getting a better look in this version of the mech. Not quite the modern Ilclan version of it, but I think it definitely looks better than the original piece of art. And finally, this is our current piece of art that they used to make the miniature. And I think they captured the miniature very well. I do like how they actually show the missile pods here on the shoulder. In the previous versions of the art, you just have the kind of the straight panels, so you don't necessarily know that there's something underneath there. Just makes it better known that that there's more to this mech than just the weapons in its arms. So I like what they did. The cockpit seems a little flat and squat, but overall not really complaining. Legs are a little weird looking, but let's be honest, they don't move on the miniature anyways, so it's not really a problem. So that is the Linebacker. Now the next one we're going to take a look at is the Black Lanner. Now this is, especially from the original art, this is probably my least favorite of this particular set. Right there, to me, it looks like a chicken wearing a diaper. And I say that because I have chickens. No, I do not have chickens in diapers. But it just looks a little odd. The perspective that they went through, kind of like you're an infantryman standing on the ground looking up at this thing. It just looks weird, and I don't think you'd feel like the cool mech warrior if you were piloting this. So that's really all I've got there. Now, the modern piece of art is much better. Now, this is obviously what they based the mech on, the actual miniature. I like the look of this one. It no longer looks like the diaper wearing chicken, and it looks like it's going to get mean. The large energy weapons in the arms, the missile rack in the left shoulder. I definitely like what they are doing with this art. So that is the Black Lanner. Now, the next one, I had never seen the original piece of art, and I'm going to show it before I show the miniature, and that's for the Battle Cobra. Now, this is from the role-playing scenario pack called Bloodright. And this is the first piece of art for the Battle Cobra. No offense to the artist, because I don't think it is a bad piece of art. I think the infantryman down here looks really good. The rest of the art, looks really decent. Especially for a very dark picture, I think he did very, very well. I just don't know what he's doing with that mech. It doesn't look anything like later versions of the mech itself. So I'm going to go ahead and put the miniature down just so we can compare the two. But that's the actual miniature that we have for the Battle Cobra. versus this first piece of art. I mean, you can see that it still has the backward canted legs, and I think that's it. Otherwise, it just, I don't know. It doesn't look anything like it, and I have no idea where they came up with it. Because in Tech Readout 3055, which was the first Tech Readout appearance, this is what we got. Now, this is obviously a lot closer to the miniature that we have today. It still kind of has that 3050 Omni-Mech, kind of blueprint look to it, but it's much better. It's much more representative. I think, here it still kind of captures that face of a Cobra. This kind of looks more like it's the hood of the Cobra. It's a much better piece of art. That first one, I just don't know what the artist was doing. So again, no offense to the artist. I'm not saying he's a bad artist. It just doesn't look like the Battle Cobra. All right, and then later on, in the upgraded version of the art, we got this one. And now this one, I think it shows the rounded ends of the arms a little bit better. A little bit closer to the art that we have, or the miniature that we have now. I did not find an Il-Clan version of this mech, but I'm assuming the art for it does match up with the miniature. Overall, not a bad looking mech, not a bad looking design. Just that first piece of art, which was a bit of a shock. All right, so that is the Battle Cobra. And then for our last figure, we've got the Arctic Cheetah, or Hankyu. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. And that is this one. So this was the only piece of art that I had. This is from 3058 Upgrade. And this is it's a Clan Ice Hellion mech that, basically, according to the lore, had some limited production. I'll be honest, I do not remember this one. But overall, I think that they actually made the new design a little bit better. It looks a little slimmer. This one seems kind of bulky. It is only a 30-ton mech, so it's not very large. But I like the way that the design still captures some of this piece of art, but does modernize it a little bit. So that is the Clan Support Star. Overall, I like it. It's not necessarily the top of my list. This one actually is on loan to me from a friend. He's having me paint it up for him. I will probably pick it up myself just because I am a completionist, much to my wife's chagrin. But yeah, this particular set I'm kind of mixed on. It's not bad. I'm not complaining. More big stompy robots to me is always better. But it's not the greatest. They're not bad designs. I like Catalyst's art style. It's just not grabbing me. So overall, let me know what you thought. Am I wrong? Are the mechs themselves, the play styles, are they worth getting it? Let me know. Should I put it, higher on my list to acquire for myself? But, with that being said, I am going to have a link down below for Drive-Thru RPG. If you do pick up your books in PDF format, it does give me a little bit of credit that I can use towards purchasing future releases. They are still putting out Battletech books, and I'd love to get more of them for reviews on the channel. So I'll still be getting them anyways, but any little bit does help. So thank you for watching, and again, if you like the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe so that you don't miss any of the future videos that I've got coming. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.